Hey, in this video I'm going to be talking to you guys about different types of mediums and art supplies and giving my opinion on these materials. The whole point of the video is to not encourage the purchase of them specifically, but to simply give you my opinion on the quality of them that I've seen and experienced over the years and through several purchases I've made with low to high quality art stuff. Please don't feel pressured into getting the best thing out there. Start out basic, and then if you prefer something else or want to try another brand, then go from there. So surprisingly, I'm actually going to start out with the foundation of most art pieces, which would be paper. Paper is a very important art medium. Different types of paper can have different textures and thicknesses, and these things are very important to consider when you buy a sketchbook or paper to use in general. Printer paper is commonly very smooth, and they mostly have a 20-pound weight. This actually is super important to keep track of. The heavier the weight, the better hold it will have to media that have some water or liquid base, like markers, alcohol-based markers, watercolor, etc. And the lighter pound works better with more dry medias like pencil, colored pencil, charcoal, etc. So to keep track in easier terms, light, dry, heavy, wet for media types. Some sketchbooks will indicate what type of media is best for the paper type it is, but in all honesty, I look at both the label and the pound so I know for sure what's best. If you don't like having paper that gets waves and bumps using watercolor or markers, then I recommend getting 100-pound paper to prevent that, and if you're able to snag even heavier pound, then even better. But like I said earlier, it's best to start out basic and cheap, and you can move up from there through experience. You can just move up from computer paper and work from there. I tend to recommend either Canson or Strathmore, probably more so Strathmore, but Canson is a great sketchbook quality paper to start off with. And there's nothing wrong with starting with computer paper. I mean, I started off with computer paper when I wasn't too sure on how that worked or how it worked with certain mediums, so honestly, I would recommend starting with computer paper and then moving up to more heavier pound paper. Next, I'd like to talk about pencils, or graphite. To be completely honest, unless you plan on doing an entire piece with graphite, the pencils only vary so much, but that's just my opinion. Pencils are a very basic medium, and especially for traditional art, they're usually the main drafting tool for your entire piece, so it may not matter to you what types of pencils you use, but in my own experience, I've used both wooden and mechanical, especially these ones in particular that I'll have on screen. I find that the internal structure of the pencils is great, and I find myself breaking the lead less easily, and it's once in a blue moon. If you're only going to use pencil for drafting out your piece, then it really depends on what one you use. But if you plan on using graphite for the entire piece, then the type of pencil should be important to you. I find the Faber-Castell drawing pencils to work the best because the quality is great in my opinion, and if you plan on blending the pencil for shading, they blend super well with a good blending stick or a blending stump. And I've used these for my high school sketches all the time, as well as most of my college works, and they've never let me down. Even so, there's nothing wrong with using everyday number 2 pencils, but the trick is how you apply the pressure and how the overall structure of the drawing shading appears. For example, in this drawing, I only used a number 2 pencil, but I carried it in other areas where it looks like I used a different type of pencil, when really it was just the pressure of the pencil applied on paper. Now we're moving on to colored pencils. So colored pencils come in a wide variety of colors and textures and can really help make an image with color pop out with smooth, bold colors when used in a certain way. Here I'm going to compare school grade Crayola with more artist grade Prismacolor colored pencils. Many people think that both of these just contrast in price, as the Prismacolors are a bit higher in price than the Crayola colored pencils, but it isn't just that. Both types have equally good quality in their colors and the pigment. The only thing that I've found that's a true difference between the two is that Prismacolor colored pencils blend much easier, as they actually have a softer pigment / wax core, while Crayola takes a bit more time to blend with a bit more pressure because there is more of a wax buildup on the lead itself. After using Crayola for so many years and then transferring over to the Prismacolors, I found that I work better with Prismacolors just because I think the softer wax is just better for my blending. I blend in a ton of my works. But if you honestly just need it for bold color and you're not planning on blending like super rigorously, then I recommend the Crayola. This is going to be the first part to a series I'm going to make because there are plenty more art mediums that I'd love to talk about, but I don't want to talk about all of them in one because I don't want to talk anyone's ear off. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!